Welcome to the weekly challenge number 31, which is gonna be all about mastering your willpower, making the right decisions. Though what I aim for in this video is to get you some basic understanding of the most fundamental principles in this world of willpower. And that is what this video is gonna be about. One of the most fundamental principles of our life is the ability to make the right decisions in all kinds of contexts. On a daily basis, it's those decisions that transforms to action that actually define us as a person and deciding what kind of life we are actually living. It doesn't matter if you think you are the person that makes the right decisions, and the right decisions being in your definition of what that might be. But what matters is what you actually do, the actions you take. That's what's gonna come up at the end of the receipt. But we so easily draw up this illusion of what kind of person we are and how we will act in the future. And it just isn't true. We are just being overly optimistic. Our future self will deal with becoming a better person. He will do that. She will do that. At least that's what we keep telling ourselves. In reality, that is not how our life plays out. We don't get more time in the future. We don't have less stress in the future. We don't make the right decisions in the future unless change is made. And the big irony of all this is that the more we believe in this idea of us following our true self, of us being a good person that makes the right choices, the more we buy into this scam, the more easier we have to actually work against ourselves to make the wrong decisions. And there's a ton of research on this that just paint it all out there in black and white. I'm actually reading a book right now, The Willpower by Kelly
We aren't as strongly motivated as we think we are by being a good person versus being a bad person. And in fact, as soon as we feel like we're a good enough kind of person, we tend to very quickly switch goals and look for an opportunity to indulge. And it's called moral licensing. So for example, someone who is trying to lose weight or maintain their health, if they eat a really healthy breakfast, they're likely to feel so good about it, they might say something like, I deserve a treat, and then maybe eat an extra dessert at lunch. And we seem to do this all the time whenever we turn our goals into tests of our virtue. When we frame our willpower challenges in moral terms, we become even more likely to be conflicted.
Okay, so let's say I buy into this idea of tapping myself on the shoulder, telling myself, good job, Alex, you're a good person. That actually works against me. How am I supposed to act then? What should I do? How should I think to make this work for me?
It is actually much more important to remember that you want the consequence of doing something, that you want to be healthy or you want to lose weight. And as soon as you turn it into a simple test of, am I being good or am I being bad? We actually start looking for opportunities to be bad. We think that feeling bad is what's going to motivate us to change. But what really motivates us to change is when we can imagine the good that will come from doing something different. And that's really where you need to put your attention. You need to think about what's going to happen if you change your behavior now. And the more you focus on feeling bad about what's already been done, the harder it's going to be to make that change.
We are faced with hundreds of decisions daily. And for each one of these decisions that we take, that willpower bar above our head, we have this amount, and throughout the day, as the hours keeps going, it decreases. Willpower is a finite resource. We don't have, and with this logic, it should make sense to actually prioritize and do the most willpower demanding tasks first. Prioritize in that order throughout the day. What is the most important to me? That should be done first. Now there are ways to regain some of this energy. Be aware, stay aware, be present.
When you actually pay attention to what you're experiencing, you are automatically shifting to the self-control system of the brain, to that mindset that is going to be able to remember your goals and resist cravings and temptations.
We could go for a quick power nap. We could do some meditation to actually regain some of that willpower. A full night of good sleep is super important for our ability to take right decisions. It refills that bar above our head. I'm sure you can relate to one of those days where you just ate so much shit and in hindsight you realize, what the heck happened there? How could I just accept that going into my body? I'm almost certain that that kind of day was a day where you didn't have enough sleep or was very stressed. Because stress is also another factor that depletes you so quickly from your willpower. It will make you take bad decisions.
The people who feel the guiltiest about gambling and losing money are the most likely to go back and gamble again. And it all comes back to this idea of stress pushing us towards our worst instincts. So the more we pile on guilt and shame, the more likely we are to get stuck. Desire is itself a form of stress. And whenever we're under other kinds of stress, there's a lot going on at work, or you didn't get enough sleep, or you're having a fight with your family member, any kind of stress at all seems to sensitize the reward system. So for example, even just thinking about a fight you had tends to make people want whatever it is they usually have the least willpower around. So someone who uses cocaine will suddenly want cocaine. Somebody who uses cookies will suddenly want cookies. And one of the biggest things that you can do to increase your willpower is to learn how to manage the physiology of stress so that your brain isn't sensitized to all of the temptations and distractions in our environment.
Now, willpower is one thing, but it's hard not to take in strategy, having a good routine for things when you talk about this. Because yeah, willpower can take you really far, but if you have a game plan for how to approach something, it will make it so much easier. And that is why you can't really have a challenge like this without having a strategy, a plan for how to act. If it's a eating willpower challenge, maybe you need to plan out what kind of food you are going to eat, when you are going to eat your food, and in what amount. That is a strategy. The things you should do to master your willpower: sleep more, super important. Try to not stress out all the time. Don't be a stress case. You can handle this by not putting yourself in those kinds of situations. Be present, be aware, take notice of what's happening and what you are feeling and how you are reacting to what you are doing. And this can be helped by practicing meditation. Have a strategy, plan out what you're gonna do before you do it. You know you're gonna be put in one of those situations where you have to make the right decision. Have a plan for how to act in those situations. And fifth, do the most important thing first. Willpower decreases throughout the day. That's why you need to start with the most important thing. What's your why? The real reason. So the objectives for this week are not super simple, but very important. First, you need to choose one willpower area you want to challenge yourself in. For me, it's going to be about going to sleep early, reading a book for the last 30 minutes of the evening. That is my willpower challenge. But you pick one that fits your context and what you might have a problem with. The second objective is to practice 5 minutes of meditation each day. 5 minutes of just listening to calm meditation music. There are tons of apps or YouTube videos with just this music, or complete silence. Focusing in on your breathing. It doesn't have to be perfect. It's a willpower exercise in itself to just sit still and breathe and try to not think about things. Things will come up. I am super bad at this, but it is a practice, and the research can't be denied. It is super important. Plan out a strategy, have a game plan for how you are going to go about your willpower challenge. For me, I'm gonna put an alarm 1 hour before going to bed, and when I'm in the bed, I'm gonna read a book for 30 minutes. Then I'm gonna try to sleep. That is my strategy, and you need a strategy too. And the fourth objective, make sure to have a clear why, for why you actually are doing this willpower challenge. You need to have a motivation, a why that relates to a bigger goal that's further ahead. Maybe it's because you want to be a happy old person living healthy. Really relate to that. It needs to be something you believe in and really want to work towards. If we want to get where we want to get, we need to make tons of decisions, tons of right decisions. That's why this is such an important piece of this building ourselves to the ideal version of ourselves. If we don't get this, we will never reach our goal. So I beg you, do this challenge, think about these things, and just grow. Become the person you want to be. And that is the weekly challenge number 31. It might be a tough one. I mean, we are talking about mastering our willpower, actually doing the right thing, and that is not something easy. Otherwise, we wouldn't be talking about this. So I wish you the best of luck. I want you to sit down tonight, think about these things. If you haven't already, hit the subscribe button so we can do this journey together, grow and become the best versions of ourselves. This is Alexander signing out, wishing you a great evening.